Hi guys, it's Mackenzie Deacons, and I want to tell you something I've discovered. I've found the best rental camera gear place ever. And they are Aperturent, and I know I've recently done a giveaway with the Mackenzie bag, but I want you guys to seriously check them out. Their prices are amazing, they're super competitive, their customer service is like amazing, and I love their gear selection. They have like the newest and greatest stuff. So I recently actually rented a mirrorless camera because I wanted to, you know, kind of check it out, because I know it's like something that a lot of people have been interested in, and just you know, it's kind of like the next thing, and I just wanted to make sure that I was on top of things. But the reason I am excited about renting it is that I was obviously able to rent it before I made the decision to jump on you know, the bandwagon and actually buy a mirrorless camera, which I'm glad I did, because I rented the Panasonic camera, the Panasonic GH5, and I liked it. But it was definitely more of a video, like it was video cinematic heavy. And so, and then also like my dang heart is just set on the Nikon camera. And so, oh, I think my eye is a little red, isn't it? Anyway, but I loved, what I loved about it, about the whole experience was I loved working with Aperturent. They have great prices. I rented it for a week. I had these lenses, these two different lenses that I used with it. They were great lenses. Anyway, I just really loved working with Aperturent. So if you are in if you need a rental, to rent a camera or any gear or lighting equipment, like anything, check out Aperturent, because seriously, like, stamp of approval, love them. Also, Charlie wants to say hi. Say hi to everybody. You love them. Okay, you guys, that is all for today. But I just love Aperturent. Thanks. Okay, this is the Panasonic GH5. We rented it from Aperturent for a week. I actually was really curious about working with mirrorless cameras, because I know that's like the next stage of photography. And yeah, I was just curious, so I used it for a little bit. But primarily my husband wanted to use it, and because he's a videographer, so it's a very good cinematic camera. And especially for Running Man.
Run and gun.
Running.
Run and gun. Run and gun.
All right. What in the world does run and gun
So
mean?
run and gun is just like a term for I'm moving a lot and I don't have time to like have a ton of equipment. Like I can't be carrying a tripod. I can't be carrying like a monopod. I work in small spaces, but I just can't like, I can't be slowed down and I can't be in the way of other people. So run and gun.
I'm just dying because I've never heard that before in my whole life.
It's run and gun.
Okay, anyway. So also what was interesting is like the C1, C2, and C3, they are custom presets. So when he was going into different rooms, he would set like the white balance and like the different settings, like the shutter speed, so that he knew like how to slow it down to in different different scenarios.
I would
You can keep saying. What do you want to say?
You can keep going. So, like in one scenario, I needed 24p and I needed a certain like white balance and ISO. And then I would go into another room and I wanted to shoot in 60p, so I could kind of slow it down. But again, separate and different settings. And then the other one, I just wanted 120 frames per second. And then you really have to have specific adjustments made. But like I would just go in and flip the switch. And so it's just like so fast and so easy. But of course, like this camera's unbeatable when it comes to image stabilization. It has a 5-axis built into it. Plus you compare that up with an actual stabilized lens, and it's just like unbelievable, crazy. You can handhold this all day long and it'll be as, you know, good as it gets.
That's cool. But yeah, so I don't know if I would get it as a photographer, just because I am a Nikon gal, so I think I'm looking for the Nikon mirrorless camera that just was announced. But this one, like seriously, Greg, from his interactions with it. He is like stoked about it. And
Well-
we rented this lens as well.
The main thing is too though, like this came from Aperturent. I have
we love
used them
Aperturent.
several times, and I've
Greg
used
loves
them
it.
several times. I've used Borrow Lens and I've rented it from local shops. But Aperturent is the best. They have the best customer service. I've actually been in their office down in Texas, and they're super sweet and super awesome. If there was a problem once with a piece of gear that I rented, but it was just user error, and so but even so they didn't charge me for it because I came back and was like I
They're
didn't.
awesome.
Yeah.
So they have their offices in Atlanta and Georgia, and yeah, we just love
Dallas,
them.
I think
Oh,
it's- yeah.
sorry, not Atlanta and Georgia. I'm such a smart person
Dallas.
right now. Dallas and
But they ship. And they ship
yeah, they
like
ship.
super fast. It's just really, really useful.
anyway, this is Greg's. Look, he's
Oh,
got-
and they don't charge you like for the full price of the equipment. Like you don't have to buy the Panasonic and buy the lenses and then you get a return on it basically when you turn it back in. It's like
Because some rental stores do that.
you
and
walk
it's
into one
annoying.
and they're like, you have to have a $20,000 credit card.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got this one and this other lens. Which ones did you like better, Greg?
Well, they're both different because I have the 12 to 35, which is, you know, different equivalent for full frame. And then this one is
The
the 35 to
100,
100, which is also going to have a different
Yeah.
focal length.
But do you felt like those two were like good
Oh
lenses
no,
to have?
this would
Did
be
you-
similar for me because I shoot with the Nikon lenses a lot, like the 14 to 24 and then the 70 to 200. That's basically those lenses. But I mean, when I shoot with the 70 to 200 on the Nikon, I cannot handhold that and it cannot look smooth and silky. But you do that as if it were a 200 and you're hand holding it, it's awesome. It's amazing.
Did you run and gun?
I ran and gunned. I ran and gunned.
I love it. Okay, so things you need to take away from this video is that we really like Aperturent.
Oh.
Their customer service
Yeah.
is amazing. Their pricing is amazing, and then we also love this new camera, this Panasonic GH5.
Right.
As a videographer, so if you're a videographer out there, this would be a good investment and a good camera to grab. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Goodbye.